We all know that Kris from Mr. Beast is getting into a lot of controversy right now, and hell, even I made a video on it already. Things are seemingly getting a whole lot worse. Like, for instance, a second person coming out against Kris Tyson with some new allegations. On top of that, allegedly, videos talking about Kris Tyson and Mr. Beast are getting demonetized and deplatformed. At least that's what people are saying. I haven't seen that for my videos personally, so I don't know, but just in case, real estate, ROI, SEO, tax liens, mortgage rates, Fortune 500, hopefully that fixes it. I don't know. Anyways, Ava made a response not too long ago, actually, like probably 2 days ago, around the same time I dropped my video, and it was bad. It was a really bad response. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. Bad for a plethora of reasons, but specifically because it literally doesn't mention a goddamn thing about what she did, and she takes no accountability for any of the stuff that she did. She did update it, however, because she added like 3 extra tweets on top of it. I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations, Lava GS, has vocally supported that they are false. We're gonna get into that because some things have changed since then. Having that said, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online, which is just avoiding the main topic at hand. These social media posts were not just unacceptable, they were straight up. Like, she's going out of her way to be like, oh, well, I didn't actually do what they're saying, but she's not saying what they're saying. So if you're going to make a response, talk about the allegations. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself, which trying to dumb it down to just edgy humor has done irreparable damage to the internet. Like, seriously, now we're seeing the 2016 to 2018 era of YouTube being heavily criticized, and people are trying to get everyone canceled right now because of this statement. Because now people are thinking that edgy jokes equals pedophilia, when that's not the case. Kris was not making edgy jokes. She was just being a fucking creep. What's honestly pretty disgusting to me is the disingenuousness of her responses, because she's not owning up to anything. She's trying to backpedal and not take any responsibility for any of the actions that she has done over the past couple of years, which we'll get into how all of this breaks down. But first, I want to just go over the biggest counter to her claim, which is that Mr. Beast and Kris amicably split. This is not the case, according to Mr. Beast himself, who actually yesterday dropped a response. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. We'll get into that because I do have an issue with that part of the statement specifically. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. Overall decent response if it wasn't for the fact that there is a strong feeling that Jimmy knew about all of this before the allegations were even made, and there's more and more evidence kind of piling up against it, which we're gonna go over. Number one, in my last video I showed a clip of the lolly poster that is hanging on Kris Tyson's wall back in an old Mr. Beast clip, basically nullifying the fact that Mr. Beast just out of nowhere all of a sudden came aware of the allegations and the actions taking place. On top of that, Kris has been very public with his degeneracy. Almost every single one of the screenshots and clips were on Twitter. All of them publicly just on Twitter. Every single one of the Shadman interactions this dude had was on Twitter. And no doubt in my mind, Jimmy was following during this time. How the hell would you not have known about this when all the dude was posting about was Shadman's art? Like, there's actually no way. Like, simply, there is not. That this is the first time you're hearing about this. Especially because it has come out that Jimmy has had an interaction with Shadman. Does that mean that Jimmy himself is a creep? No. The artwork that he responded to was not anything weird. It was just some slightly NSFW art of a full-grown adult. Thank God. But he would have seen the crossover between Kris and Shadman during the time on Twitter. There's not a single way that this did not happen. It's good that he is getting private investigators into this, but honestly, I don't really think we need them. This is going to help with a lot more verifiable evidence, but literally as of today, we have a lot more evidence already coming out, thanks to a alleged second victim who is not so alleged anymore. We also do have some updates with the first alleged victim, who is, again, also not so alleged anymore. The second victim to have come out is named Nathan W. He has been posting on Twitter, and he has leaked some very, very interesting stuff out about the Discord that we saw screenshots of in my first video. Turns out there is actually someone within the Discord who logged almost everything.
Kris Tyson from MrBeast used me and manipulated me and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. I was actually friends with Lava GS at the time, who is the main victim of Kris that everyone has been talking about these last few days, who claims he isn't a victim, but we all know he is, and we all know he probably got paid off. Not only that, but he's also under an NDA from when he worked for MrBeast Gaming for 2 years, and he tried to get me to join MrBeast Gaming himself, Lava. He's the one who actually sent me the contract and tried to get me to sign the NDA, at which point I ended our friendship because I knew they were just trying to silence me. Me and him were both initially involved in running Kris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them.
Nate's calling me. Hey, what's up? You're on stream.
You just leaked your address. Please end your stream. As well as other technical back-end things that he needed help with. This Discord server that we were a part of had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava. He won a giveaway, and Kris invited him after that, and Kris invited me after I saw one of his tweets asking for help setting up a Garry's Mod server for the 10 million subscriber MrBeast video. This turned into us having lots of private conversations with Kris and playing video games with him for hours on end. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up sexual topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and hentai videos throughout the time of me talking with him. Not only that, but he had an NSFW bot in his Discord server before he made it public. So when it was just a private server, his little circle of minors. And he would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images, alongside all these 15-year-olds. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy, as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes. But looking back, I was definitely uncomfortable at being called. This is part 2 to yesterday's video of me talking about Ava Kris Tyson and what they did to me when I was 15 years old. This video has all the proof in it, all the receipts, and all the screenshots, thanks to an old friend of mine who was a moderator in Kris's Discord server at the time, Cookie. Now, Cookie actually went ahead and downloaded logs of all the individual channels on Kris's server before it went public, knowing that this was kind of being covered up, and he kept the logs of it for himself. He actually reached out to me here on Twitter, and I'm going to provide a lot of the screenshots backing up the claims that I made that Lava refuted. For example, I made a claim that there was an NSFW channel in the server where Kris would spam corn. Here you can see Kris talking about locking down the NSFW channel to True Gods and Anointed only. By the way, this is in 2019. I was a True God and I was a minor. Not only that, but you can see me right below it, Nathan.rtx, saying this is a bad idea. So even I knew as a kid that this was a really bad idea. Here is Lava himself talking about starting the commencement of cleaning the server, word for word. I said he was talking about scrubbing the server. He says that never happened. Here you can see him talking about it, as well as me and Cookie himself talking about it. I just want to make this video real quick, disproving some of the claims that Lava refuted and showing that they actually are true, but I actually have thousands of Discord messages to go through in these logs that I was just provided by Cookie. Shout out to him for giving me them, and I'm going to be going through them and posting an update video with some more proof.
We still do not have all of the chat logs yet as of right now, but we have some really damning stuff, including the fact that it's not just Kris that was in this Discord from the MrBeast crew, but Chandler was also in here, and so was Carl. I almost forgot his name, I don't know why. But that doesn't mean that Chandler and Carl are implicated in anything villainous or heinous. We don't have any evidence of that yet, and no one is claiming that. It's just a little curious that both of them were in the same Discord that Kris had that was literally filled with minors. Videos, he goes on to show that Lava was actually very implicated in a lot of the things that were happening in this Discord, including the cleansing of the Discord, because before they opened it up to the public, they needed to get rid of all of the NSFW stuff that was on the server, including the bot that Kris had that he would use to spam. Mind you, this Discord, again, was filled with minors, which Kris knew. We're about to get a lot. This is going to be a massive bombshell. This story is nowhere near done. Like, genuinely, it's nowhere near done. More and more stuff comes out, the more and more I feel like Jimmy is very knowledgeable about what was going on behind the scenes, and he just wants to try and pretend like he wasn't. On top of all this coming out, LavaGS has actually retracted their original statement of them saying that Kris did nothing wrong. Kris was never weird. The Discord had nothing going on in it. He has henceforth retracted his statement and apologized. As more and more of the Discord leaks are coming out, he is now realizing just how bad it actually was. And it's starting to look more and more like a cut and dry case of people getting groomed within this Discord and people from the MrBeast team knowing about this. Because look, dude, you cannot have Carl and Chandler in the same Discord as Kris while he's adding a shit ton of minors into a Discord with bots and pretend like they didn't know what the hell was happening, okay? It just can't be that way. I'm sorry. And Jimmy would have most definitely known, because that means 3 of the people in his crew already knew about this behind the scenes. It's not like he could just claim that, like, oh, they didn't tell me anything about this. This was something I never knew. So if we see some stuff coming out here soon about Jimmy knowing about this, this is why. This is exactly why. They haven't leaked every single chat log yet, but it will be happening here soon. There's also a lot of claims being made against MrBeast at the moment. They're not the same type of allegations, but they're pretty damning within itself, and stuff is just not looking good right now for anyone on the MrBeast crew. I'll be making a video on that very, very soon, because all of this is still unfolding as we speak. Now, before I end this video, I want to just say that there is a lot of hate getting thrown not only at Kris for being trans, which let's just cut the shit right now, okay? There should be no hate for this. There should be no hate for Kris being trans. We're losing the plot here. Kris is a pedophile. We're gonna attack him for that. Attacking him for anything else is muddying the waters entirely. And let me also be clear, trying to defend Kris in any way only makes people look worse. Do not try and defend Kris. Do not try and respect the wishes of Kris. Kris is a groomer and a predator. Let's leave it at that, because trying to spin it any other way is just getting brought up in, like, getting tied up into the culture war. Don't do that. You're gonna completely muddy the water, and then the plot's gonna be completely lost. Another thing that I am seeing is LavaGS has been attacked multiple times over the past couple of days for not speaking out against Kris, which is stupid as shit, because number one, Lava was an alleged victim and is now proven to be a victim. Why the hell would they want to speak out about this? Especially when the entire internet was telling them they were a victim of a predator when they didn't believe so. And because they didn't want to speak out, everyone's calling them a coward for not doing so. That's stupid as shit, and you look really fucking bad for that. Let us not lose the plot. Let's keep on target and just focus on what actually matters. Anything else doesn't. Anyways, if you like this video, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you think. Shout out to all my members for being the silliest geese on the planet and for supporting the channel. Your guys' support really means the most to me. We're gonna be keeping up with the situation as much as I can. A lot of shit's coming out right now, and it's kind of hard to keep up with. Everyone else is making like 15 videos a day at the moment on this situation, and I'm just trying to make sure that we have everything we need to in one concise video. I will be following up